You know, I feel like sometimes I forget how many new Marvel games are currently on the way, and one of them that I am really excited about is the Iron Man game that's coming from Motive Studio. Right now, we don't know a ton about this game, but we do know that it's going to be a single-player, third-person action adventure, and Motive just released the Dead Space remake, and it was extremely well-received, and definitely one of the better-looking games that we have seen in a while. However, I've been wondering for a little while whether or not this is going to be one of those linear action adventures, which I wouldn't have a problem with in the vein of something like Guardians of the Galaxy, or if this is going to be something that's going to give us a bit more freedom. We might have our answer for today's video, but the key word is might. But before we get into all the news today, if you're excited for this Iron Man game, well, why don't you scroll down right now and hit that thumbs up button, share your excitement with me. And I also just wanted to quickly say thank you everybody for all the support that you've been continuing to show on this channel. We're going to get ramped up with some news, I think, really soon for some amazing games that we're going to be covering here, and I cannot wait to bring you all the news. And I mean, hey, with that said, let's jump into the news that we have for this video. So recently, the narrative director who's currently working at Motive Studios on the Iron Man game tweeted out a job posting for some people to apply for, and the position is specifically for a senior writer to work at Motive Studios on this Iron Man game. So Stefan Rhodes tweeted out, "Come work with me and help create the next great Iron Man story here at EA Motive." And hey, let me also just mention that this video is for anybody out there who's in game development and might fit any of the qualifications or the responsibilities that are required for this job. And this job posting did list some of the responsibilities of this position as a senior writer at EA Motive. You can check it out here on screen. Feel free to pause if you'd like to at any time. What's here isn't necessarily related to the news for today's video, but I will leave it up for anybody out there who is potentially, like I said, looking to apply for this job. There's also a link in the description. And let me just mention as a general note that you really don't realize how much goes into every single position that somebody has working on a game. Because when you read all that and know that the person they're going to hire for the senior writer position needs to know and understand all those responsibilities, it's kind of crazy. These games that have a real heavy emphasis on telling a good story have to integrate that story seamlessly with the gameplay, and that's something that people don't realize is extremely important. But the real meat and the bones of what we're talking about in today's video are the qualifications for this job opportunity. As it says here in that post, have experience with interactive storytelling, at least 2 ship AAA games in a writing or narrative design role, work and succeed in a collaborative team environment, knowledge of industry trends and successful intellectual properties, plays and has knowledge of modern video games, and then experience in open world and non-linear dialogue for games. And then it goes on to mention scripting experience with text or visual scripting languages, published written work, novels, short fiction, film, television, comics, and then experience working with and in-game engines. So yeah, very interesting. One of the qualifications for the senior writer role at EA Motive for this Iron Man game is to have experience with open world games and non-linear dialogue. We haven't heard whether or not this game is going to be a linear experience or if it's going to be an open world game, and this is about as close to confirmation as we can potentially get right now that it looks like it's going to be open world, which I'll be honest, that is what you gotta do. That is the right way to make an Iron Man game. Not that I would have anything against a linear experience. I wouldn't mind it as long as the game is good. At the end of the day, I don't care what type of game it is, but I feel like if we're trying to get the definitive Iron Man experience, we need that open world, we need that sandbox, we need the ability to just fly around and have fun doing that without having to worry about progressing with the story. But don't get me wrong, based on what they're looking for here, the story seems like it could be shaping up to be something special if all these writers and all the people that are cooking in this kitchen are firing on all cylinders. It just gets me excited. You know, we have Marvel's Spider-Man, and Insomniac has done such an incredible job with that character, and I'm looking for what's that next thing? What's the next superhero franchise potentially in video games that can reach that level of success? And hey, maybe Iron Man is going to be exactly that, this single player experience, an action adventure, that third person that everybody loves. When you get a superhero game, it needs to be in third person. I'm hyped. I want to see what those alternate suits could look like too. My goodness, there's so many possibilities and a ton of potential for this game. And then I also think about, well, if you're gonna have an open world, what's the setting? Because I don't think Iron Man is necessarily tied to a city similar to how someone like Spider-Man is. You can go the easy route and pick New York because that's kind of a hub for a lot of Marvel heroes. Because I kind of like what they did with Marvel's Avengers and having it taking place in San Francisco, or at least that opening mission was in San Francisco. I think it could be cool to to explore a different city on the West Coast rather than just doing New York again, similar to what we already have seen in the Spider-Man games. Plus, development is only really just getting started for this Iron Man game, at least as far as I know. I'm not entirely sure what's going on behind the scenes, but based on the announcement, it sounds like they just got the green light. My point being, we don't know when we're going to see this game. It could be several years out. And so with that, it's probably going to be exclusive to our new generation of consoles and may even be dropping on whatever the next generation will be. And who knows what it could be like getting an Iron Man game taking advantage of these new consoles and the power that comes from them. I mean, imagine how fast we can fly, how high up we can go. So many cool things they could do with Iron Man. I cannot wait. But with that being said, now I want to kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about that job posting? Do you think that it practically confirms that this Iron Man game is going to be open world, or are you still a little skeptical? And bottom line, do you want this Iron Man game to be open world or not? I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed. I've been Caboose, and I'll see you guys later.